Hi, I wanted to shoot this video for you today because a lot of my clients are complaining about the lack of energy. They're like so tired by the end of the day. They're craving sweets or salty foods in the afternoon, like about 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then their hands are very cold. And then they say they can't sleep at night, almost like an insomnia type of symptom. And then in the morning, they have to grab that coffee because they got to get going because they have to go to work, they have kids, or they have a business to run. So I wanted to share that with you. And if you're having those symptoms, this video is for you. And so at the end of the video, I'm going to give you 4 tips that you can use immediately so that your stress, your fatigue level, basically your energy can really be soaring, you'll be energized, and you'll be so joyful and happy to live your life. So let's get started. So when you're having these symptoms of stress and overwhelm and insomnia, and you're probably gaining some weight and you don't know where it's coming from, you may be having what we call adrenal fatigue or adrenal stress. So what does that mean? These little organs, they're very tiny, but they're like a powerhouse because they're like little triangles on top of your kidneys. They're behind your back, by the mid-back in the bra area. That's where they're located. What are the functions of these adrenals? Well, you're familiar with the fight and flight reaction, okay? So that's one of the functions. They also regulate your digestive system. So if they're always tight and you're always stressed out, then they don't work very well, right? And if you're having mood swings, most likely your hormones are affected because the adrenals regulate your hormones along with the other glands in your body. So why is it so difficult to change? Because some women and even some men sometimes, this is mostly present in women because we're now multitasking, right? We're working, we have kids, we have a business, and we have other things to do. Well, because the challenge is that is not the way we're supposed to live our lives. But then, well, that is how it is, right? So we accept what it is right now, and at the same time, we're looking for solutions. Because these things are caused, yes, by poor nutrition and unhealthy habits, right? And a lot of stress, too much on our plate. However, there are some factors that are underlying that you may not be familiar with. Like if you have a toxic relationship, are you living with someone that is really sucking the life out of you? It's almost like an energy vampire is what we call it. Well, I'm sure it's probably difficult for you to let go of that relationship. But then if you just try to fix it with food, like having good nutrition, yes, you are going to get better, okay? And you're going to have better boundaries if you do that. However, if the root cause is really this toxic relationship, you might need to deal with that directly in order for your adrenal stress to really be over, okay? Now, one other factor might be genetics, right? You got it from your parents. Maybe they're always worried and stressed out as well. Or maybe they're always in panic and terror. So those are some of the emotions that you experience when you have these adrenal stress. And one more thing is if you have a lot of past life trauma. So you almost think like you're under attack or somebody's always after you. And believe it or not, this is not in your head. It's really true that if you're having that feeling, you need to validate that and get help. You need to find someone who could release those past life traumas so that you can be free. I mean, one client of mine came to me just because of that. And she was getting bad dreams and she didn't know where it was coming from. And one session, she felt so much better and she had such a better relationship with her family. So why don't you give yourself that gift? So what are you going to do if you have all these symptoms and you just don't know, like, how can I get this help? I want to give you 4 tips that you can do to let go of these adrenal fatigue or adrenal stress and really have the life that you desire, right? This joyful life, this healthy life. It's just nice to be in that space. So, number 1 thing is you do need to put on your calendar your self-care moments. What do I mean by self-care moments? Well, for me, it could be nature walk, or it could be yoga, or it could be some meditation, right? Or you could have a massage, any kind of thing that feeds your soul, that helps you just feel like you gave yourself something very, very important and you loved it. Those are the self-care moments that I'm talking about. Number two, you owe it to yourself to really eat healthy. So you may want to either decrease or completely eliminate sugar, because believe it or not, sugar numbs your emotions so that you don't have to deal with it. However, how is that serving you? Okay? You may want to let go of those things that you feel like every time, it's like an emotional overeating. Every time you're stressed, you grab it. Ask yourself, is this gonna help me be healthier? So if it's not, then you may want to put. Three is you may want to write down on a sheet of paper, and this is very important, what's working for you and what's not working for you. Sometimes you really need to consciously address that and put that into place. Put it into practice. The things that are working for you, put it in your calendar. And the ones that are not working for you, this is the number 4 tip, and this is the most important, is you need to learn to say yes to yourself and no to others. I know, a lot of you women out there, you're used to just saying yes to everybody else and then you forgot yourself, okay? That's why the number 1 tip is to do self-care, because that is your priority. If your friend asks you, your mom calls you and say, can you please do this errand for me? If you have an appointment already on your schedule and it's for you, you need to say, I would love to do that. However, I already have an appointment. And I don't care if it's with yourself. You are the most important person in the planet, because if you don't take care of yourself, you cannot take care of anybody else. So, those are the 4 tips that you could do right now to help yourself get rid of adrenal stress.